Industry players are keen on hearing policies that would help ensure relative stability in the economy and forestall the rapid depreciation of the cedi. The local currency has already lost over 20% of its value against the dollar since the start of the year, significantly affecting the average Ghanaian due to the country's high import-dependent economy. Michael Obudu has the rest of the story.
As of today, Monday, July 22, 2024, the cedi is reported to be selling at about 15 cedi 75 pesos to a dollar at some forex bureaus across the country after starting the year at almost 12 cedis against the dollar. This development concerns industry players like bulk oil distributors who are calling for swift solutions in the mid-year budget.
We expect some comfort. We expect relative stability with the currency because that drives everything. And we also expect that there is going to be some form of reduction in the variable charges that the regulator is charging us, and it's something that we are looking forward to.
The Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, has expressed satisfaction with the government's announcement that no new taxes will be introduced in the mid-year budget review.
We've actually engaged with the ministry, and they have given the assurance that no new taxes are going to be imposed on us. And for that, it gives us comfort and assuring to us.
Some economists share the sentiments of the traders and expect more financial discipline from the government.
Government will not introduce any extra or additional spending in the sense that there wouldn't be no supplementary budget request from Parliament. Looking at the inflows government has, which is about $2.9 billion so far, so that should be enough for government spending.
Looking ahead to next year, the Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana, ISEG, hopes the government will announce a plan for a temporary budget covering the first quarter of 2025.
Expect government to come up with a clear roadmap on the interim budget, given that this year is an election year. Whether there is a change of government or not, the law requires that we have that budget in place within the 3-month period. So government should give us a clear roadmap.
And as the nation anticipates the mid-year budget review, all eyes are on the government to introduce measures that will stabilize the cedi and support economic growth. Michael Obudu, 3 Business, Accra.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, has been given his expectations ahead of the mid-year budget review to be read in Parliament today.
Key thing that I'm watching out is that clear statement, the clear indication that there will not be the usual election year spending spree. That truly is what will keep the dollar stable. That is what will assure businesses and the public that, listen, we are not going to go into another spending spree. And therefore, you don't have to move your money into a foreign currency to hold. The important thing is stick to your spending limits. Stick to that. Listen, we have to help shore up the Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Amin Adam. We have to support him, and we have to state clearly that stick to the budget, resist it, resist the pressures that will come. But that's why you're Minister of Finance. You're there to make sure that we stay within budget. It's the responsibility of the political authority. It's the responsibility of you, the Ministry of Finance. You are in charge of our finances. You know how dire they are. You know that we are not out of the woods yet. So stick to the right thing.
In other news, the majority and minority in Parliament have come to an agreement on the recruitment of personnel into the various security agencies across all 16 regions of the country. Interior Minister Henry Quartey said both sides of Parliament have agreed that the recruitment should be done free of charge. Entry, however, to those applied in 2021 to 2022 is open. Now here's Interior Minister Henry Quartey.
We have had extensive conversation And I want to say that the recruitment exercises for the security agencies under the Ministries of Interior will be advertised with a clause. The clause is those who went online to apply in 2021 and 2022 and for some reason have still not been able to go through the process. But I must be quick to add and bring clarity to no money must be paid. The security and intelligence agencies, and for that matter, governments, does not control what we call medicals. If you go out there as a private citizen to do medicals, you have to pay for the medical fee. That is not the doing of the security and intelligence agencies. But what we are saying is that for the purposes of filling your application online, it is completely free. Free in the sense that these people have already paid online. So that's where the free is, so that people don't go to medicals and say it's free.
We'll stay in Parliament now. The Speaker of Parliament, for the first time in his leadership, walked out an MP for what he described as rude and disrespectful comments. Alban Babing on Monday dismissed MP for Sefwi Wiawso constituency Dr. Kwekwe Fiye after accused him of making prejudicial comments. Here's a report by Komla Kluche.
President Akufo-Addo's nomination of 2 justices to the Supreme Court and a recent discussion on putting a ceiling on the number of justices has shown some clear divide in opinions on the subject. Well, Speaker Bagbin notifying MPs on the President's recent nominations and reading out the considerations the President was seeking to get from MPs with some urgency.
It is my respectful hope and expectation that the approval of the nominees will proceed expeditiously to enable them to assume office as soon as practicable.
Parliament has effected its new standing orders with an express instruction from the Speaker to the committees on appointments to strictly adhere to it.
Anytime we resume, we will consider them on the floor of the House to see whether it is any full complement that they want to make sure it's maintained. Which full complement I am not aware of. And so we are being called for, through this letter as a House, to look at the issue of a full complement of the Supreme Court. Should we be 13? Should we be 15? Should we be 20, 40, or 100?
The President has come under scrutiny and condemnation over his substantial appointment to the Supreme Court in his tenure, with many accusing him of politically failing the court.
And more importantly, Honourable Speaker,
the Deputy Minority Leader, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, seeking to comment on the matter, was ruled out of order.
Eavesdropped.
The intervention of the Sefwi Wiawso MP, Dr. Afriye, infuriated the Speaker.
With all due respect to your chair, these preliminary remarks you are making are prejudicial, and I believe that as representing the good people of Sefwi Wiawso, it doesn't lie in your mouth to remind us of the things that you said. Thank you.
A completely rude remark, and I can send you out of the House now. It lies in my authority to do so. You represent the good people of Sefwi Wiawso. I represent the whole country. Please, my child, take him out of the House. I will not entertain such disrespect. It lies in my mouth.
In 2012, the then Adentan MP Kojo Duasare had to flee the chamber over his improper dressing after the Speaker's attention was drawn to it. In 2021, the then Greek Minister Dr. Kweku Owusu-Afriye was asked to leave Parliament following similar conduct of improper dressing. Tamale North MP Al-Hassan Sulini was asked to leave the chamber by the Speaker following an unblocked attack on the Yawasu West Wuogon MP Lydia Al-Hassan. The conduct of the Sefiuoso MP has become of concern to the majority MPP.
What happened a moment ago was unfortunate. And so we want to, on behalf of the entire caucus and my colleague, want to render an unqualified apology to you and your office.
Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Parliament House, Accra.
In other news, 1,237 people lost their lives through road accidents between January and June 2024. In total, 6,653 road traffic crashes were reported from January to June. Evelyn Tingma has more in the following report.
A total of 6,653 road traffic crashes were reported from January to June 2024. The crashes involved 11,283 vehicles of all categories, including private, commercial, motorbikes and cycles. 1,237 died in the period under review, with 7,561 injuries and 1,237 fatalities. Comparing the statistics to 2023, cases reported, vehicles involved, persons injured and pedestrian knockdowns in 2024 all decreased. Persons killed, however, increased by 13% compared to the same period of 2023.
The contributory factor might be as a result of head-on collisions, and head-on collisions is as a result of wrongful overtaking and overspeeding. Research has shown that about 90% of our drivers plying our road in the country do not adhere to speed limits in the country. And when the speed is high, the severity of the crash is so much.
The month of March in 2024 recorded the highest number of crashes with 1,145 crashes, while the month of June recorded the least number of crashes with 1,144 crashes. March also recorded the highest number of deaths with 240 deaths. A total of 1,219 pedestrians were knocked down from January to June 2024. This represents a decrease of 1.9% over the situation for the same period in 2023, where 1,212 persons were knocked down. Private vehicles constituted the largest proportion of vehicles involved in crashes from January to June 2024, representing 43%, followed by commercial vehicles with 34% and motorcycles with the least proportion of 23%.
Because they were not being properly regulated and there was no training, there was no proper enforcement, we saw the hike in the crashes and the fatality rate. But when we look at the trend, we immediately collaborated with Ghana Police Service and we've established a relationship with the motor riders. And so they are formed associations. We go to them, we do town hall meetings for them, we call facilitators to come and talk to them, sensitize them and educate them on the impact of their reckless riding. And we've seen that it has helped, mostly in the urban cities.
The Bono region had the highest percentage increases in deaths from January to June 2024, with 77.8% when compared to the same period of 2023. Oti region recorded the highest percentage decrease of the crashes by 50%. Research shows road crashes increase every election year, but the National Road Safety Authority says measures have been put in place.
We have gone into discuss with the various political parties. We've engaged them. We have also been able to review the road safety political code of 2008. And so they are all aware what they should do during the campaign season. We will still go to their various national, regional, constituency and branch offices and sensitize them on the impact of reckless driving or recklessness during campaign time.
Evelyn Tingma, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana has refuted claims that it opposes the cylinder recirculation model, CRM, but says both the refilling and CRM systems must operate side by side. The association says it has invested over $400 million in the industry and that transitioning to CRM could lead to job losses.
The LPG Marketers Association of Ghana has called on the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, to maintain neutrality and fulfill its role strictly as a regulator.
The NPA Chief Executive's attack on our association at GIPCON was very, very unnecessary, uncalled for, unfair. We have mutually agreed with NPA that the two systems must run side by side. But unfortunately, NPA rejected that offer from us flatly.
Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association, Gabriel Kumi, noted indigenous businesses have to be protected.
The value of each LPG station you see out there is between $200,000 to $250,000 on the average. In fact, there are LPG stations that could cost you about $500,000. So how do we say we should just remove all these equipment and throw them away before we are allowed to be part of the CRM? We said we can't do that. The only way we can also do that is for you to value all the assets and pay us full compensation. NPA said they don't have money to do that.
Executive Director at the Center for Energy Security and Environmental Management, Benjamin Insia, said government policies have the potential to derail LPG penetration target of 50%.
It has increased the price of the product by at least 1 Ghana cedis, 20 pesos per kilogram. And 1 Ghana cedis, 20 pesos per kilogram is huge amount for some low-income earners to be able to afford this product. So we think that for us to get it right, NPA should rather take $80 per metric off the price build-up of the product. And we also think that between the CRM policy and also the already existing structure that we have, NPA must protect all because they are all Ghanaians.
And that's how we wrap up 6am News right here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. A pleasure coming to you always. Do stay tuned for the rest of New Day.